Have you ever looked at the people of Japan, a nation with the highest number of healthy, long-living people in the world, and wondered what their secret is? It seems as though they have a kind of resilience, a foundational strength that allows them to resist the chronic diseases that plague so much of the modern world, and to live with a vitality that is truly inspiring. This is not about a magical immunity, but about a conscious, daily cultivation of health. It is a system, not a secret, and it is a system built on simple, profound principles that anyone can adopt. I am Dr. Kenji Sato, and for my entire career as a physician in Japan, I have dedicated myself to understanding the bridge between the ancient wisdom of my culture and the undeniable truths of modern medical science. In this video, I will not be talking about complicated diets or impossible exercise routines. Instead, I will reveal the 5 interconnected pillars that form the very foundation of this remarkable Japanese resilience. By the end of our time together, you will have simple, practical, and profound ways to begin weaving these principles into your own life, no matter where you live. This is not about becoming Japanese. It is about reclaiming the universal wisdom that your own body already holds. So, where does this journey begin? It does not start with a supplement or a specific food. It starts deep within you, in a place that ancient Japanese wisdom has always understood as the root of all health and all disease. It begins in your gut. In the West, the gut is often seen as just a part of the digestive system, but in Japan, we understand it as the hara, the body's energetic center, and the true foundation of your immune system. With over 70% of your immune cells residing in your gut, its health is paramount. When your gut is in turmoil, your body's ability to defend itself is compromised. This is why the first and perhaps most important pillar of Japanese health is what we call kinkatsu, or the fermentation culture. While modern science is now celebrating the importance of probiotics and a healthy microbiome, this knowledge is deeply woven into the fabric of our daily meals in Japan. We do not simply supplement with probiotics. We consume them naturally, with almost every meal. Think of the classic Japanese breakfast, which often includes a bowl of steamed rice, a piece of grilled fish, and a bowl of miso soup. That miso soup is a powerhouse of living enzymes and beneficial bacteria created through the fermentation of soybeans. It is not just a food, it is a living medicine that nourishes the gut lining and supports a diverse ecosystem of microorganisms. I remember a patient of mine, a gentleman from America named Robert, who was in his late 50s. He came to my clinic suffering from chronic fatigue, bloating, and recurrent infections. He had been on countless diets and was taking a handful of supplements, yet he felt worse each year because his diet was filled with processed foods, sugars, and very little living nourishment. I explained to him the concept of kinkatsu. I did not give him a restrictive diet. Instead, I asked him to make one simple change, to start every morning with a small bowl of warm, unpasteurized miso soup. He was skeptical, wondering how a simple soup could change anything, but he agreed to try. Within a few weeks, the change was remarkable. The bloating began to subside, and he reported feeling a subtle but steady increase in his energy. As we continued, we slowly introduced other fermented foods common in Japan, such as natto, the stringy, pungent fermented soybeans rich in vitamin K2, and tsukemono, lightly pickled vegetables that accompany many meals. A study published in the Journal of Functional Foods highlighted that regular consumption of fermented soy products like miso and natto was directly linked to a more diverse gut microbiome and lower levels of inflammation in the body. Robert was not just eating, he was repopulating his inner garden. So how can you begin to practice kinkatsu? You do not need to develop a taste for natto overnight. You can start simply by finding authentic, unpasteurized miso paste at a local Asian market and beginning your day with a warm cup of miso broth. You can also explore other fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, or kefir. The key is consistency. By introducing these living foods into your diet, you are not just feeding yourself, you are nourishing the trillions of allies within you that form the front line of your body's defense. What is one fermented food you enjoy or would be willing to try? Please share your thoughts in the comments below, as it is a wonderful way for us to learn from each other. Now that we have nourished our inner ecosystem, we must address the second pillar, which is not about what we eat, but how much. In the West, there is often an emphasis on eating until one is completely full, a sign of abundance. But in Okinawa, the region of Japan famous for its extraordinary number of healthy centenarians, there is a guiding principle passed down through generations. It is a simple phrase taught to children, hara hachi bu, which translates to eat until you are 80% full. This is not a diet. It is a practice of mindful moderation. It takes approximately 20 minutes for the stomach to send a signal to the brain that it is full. By stopping when you feel just satisfied, but not stuffed, you are giving your body's natural feedback loop time to catch up. This simple act of caloric restriction has profound scientific implications. The process of digestion is one of the most energy-intensive tasks your body performs. And when you consistently overeat, you are placing an enormous metabolic stress on your system. This stress generates free radicals, which accelerate aging and promote inflammation, the very foundation of almost every chronic disease. Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, one of Japan's most beloved physicians who lived to be 105, was a living embodiment of this principle. He often spoke about how most people in modern society are overfed and undernourished. He advocated for light meals and believed that staying lean was one of the most important factors for longevity. By practicing hara hachibu, you are not starving yourself. You are liberating your body's energy. Instead of being diverted to endless digestion, that energy can be used for cellular repair, immune function, and detoxification, the very processes that keep you from getting sick. Let me tell you about another patient, a woman in her 60s named Emmy. She struggled with her weight, joint pain, and what she called brain fog. She ate healthy foods, but she ate large portions and often felt sluggish and heavy after meals. We worked on implementing hara hachibu. The first step was simply to use smaller plates and bowls, a common practice in Japan that makes a moderate portion feel abundant. The second was for her to put down her chopsticks midway through the meal, take a deep breath, and ask herself, "Am I still truly hungry, or am I just eating out of habit?" At first it was difficult. She felt a sense of anxiety, a fear that she would be hungry later. But slowly, she began to trust her body's signals. The result was that she lost weight without ever feeling deprived. Her joint pain, which was exacerbated by inflammation, began to ease, and the brain fog lifted. She described it as feeling lighter, not just in body, but in mind. This is the wisdom of hara hachibu. It teaches you to listen to your body's subtle cues, transforming your relationship with food from one of consumption to one of communication. We have addressed the gut and the quantity of our food, but the third pillar of Japanese resilience has nothing to do with diet at all. It is a concept that resides in the heart and the mind, yet its effects on physical health are astonishingly powerful. It is the principle of ikigai, which is often translated as a reason to live. Your ikigai is the intersection of what you love, what you are good at, what the world needs, and what you can be valued for. It is the reason you get out of bed in the morning. In Japan, There is no real concept of retirement in the Western sense of completely stopping work. Instead, people continue their ikigai for as long as they are able. You see this in the 80-year-old fisherman who still goes out on his boat at dawn, or the 90-year-old artisan who continues to craft pottery with unwavering focus. This is not a burden. It is a joy that provides a sense of identity, community, and purpose. Modern science is now beginning to understand the profound connection between psychological purpose and physical health. A landmark study from Tohoku University followed over 43,000 Japanese adults for 7 years. The findings were stunning. Those who had a strong sense of ikigai had a significantly lower risk of death from all causes, particularly from cardiovascular disease, compared to those who did not. The researchers concluded that having a purpose in life is directly linked to better immune function, lower inflammatory markers, and a reduced stress response. Think of it this way. When you lack purpose, your body's stress system can become chronically activated. This leads to elevated levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, which suppresses your immune system and leaves you vulnerable to illness. In contrast, having a sense of ikigai acts as a powerful buffer against stress. It provides a sense of meaning that transcends daily annoyances and hardships, giving your nervous system a reason to be in a state of calm and growth, rather than a state of threat and defense. I once had a conversation with an elderly farmer in the countryside of Kyoto. He was 92 years old, his back bent from decades of work, but his eyes were bright and full of life. I asked him what his secret was. He smiled and pointed to a small field of vegetables. He said, "Every morning, these vegetables call to me. They need me. My neighbors are waiting for them. This is not work. This is my life." He did not know the word ikigai, but he was living it. His purpose was simple, tangible, and deeply connected to his community. Finding your ikigai is a personal journey. It does not have to be a grand ambition. It could be tending a garden, caring for a grandchild, volunteering, mastering a new skill, or sharing your wisdom with others. I ask you, what is it that makes you feel truly alive? What is the unique gift that only you can offer the world? You do not need to have the perfect answer right now, but simply asking the question begins the process of awakening this powerful force for health within you. The fourth pillar takes us out of our homes and into the natural world. In our hyper-connected digital age, we often forget that we are biological beings, designed to be in relationship with nature. In Japan, we have a practice that acknowledges this deep need. It is called Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing. This is not hiking or exercise. It is the simple, meditative act of being calm and quiet amongst the trees, observing nature with all of your senses. It is about listening to the rustle of leaves, feeling the texture of bark, smelling the scent of the earth, and watching the sunlight filter through the canopy. While this may sound poetic, the health benefits are robust and scientifically validated. The Japanese government began studying the effects of Shinrin-yoku in the 1980s, and the results were so impressive that it is now considered a cornerstone of preventive medicine. One of the pioneers in this field, Dr. Ching Li of the Nippon Medical School in Tokyo, has conducted numerous studies on the subject. His research has shown that spending time in a forest environment significantly increases the number and activity of our natural killer cells. These are a type of white blood cell that plays a vital role in our immune defense, seeking out and destroying virus-infected cells and early cancer cells. In one study, a group of men went on a 3-day forest bathing trip. Blood tests taken before and after showed that their natural killer cell activity had increased by an astonishing 50%. What is even more remarkable is that these elevated levels were still present a full 30 days after the trip. How does this work? Trees and plants release aromatic compounds called phytoncides to protect themselves from insects and disease. When we inhale these compounds, they trigger a cascade of positive changes in our bodies. They reduce the production of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, lower blood pressure, and decrease anxiety. Forest bathing is a direct antidote to the chronic stress that suppresses our immunity. I often prescribe Shinrin-yoku to my patients who are dealing with high stress, anxiety, or weakened immune systems. I had a patient, a young woman who worked a demanding job in Tokyo, who was suffering from burnout and frequent illnesses. She felt disconnected and overwhelmed. I instructed her to spend just 2 hours every weekend in a nearby park or forest, leaving her phone behind. Her only task was to walk slowly and pay attention to the natural world around her. She later told me that the first few times felt strange, almost boring, but she persisted. Soon, she began to notice things she had never seen before: the intricate pattern of a leaf, the sound of different birds. She described a feeling of calm washing over her, a sense of being part of something larger than her own worries. Her sleep improved, her anxiety lessened, and she found she was no longer catching every cold that went around the office. She had re-established a vital connection. You do not need to live near a large forest to practice Shinrin-yoku. You can find it in a city park, a botanical garden, or even by tending to houseplants in your home. The goal is to consciously immerse yourself in a natural environment, however small. It is a reminder that healing is all around us, waiting for us to simply slow down, breathe, and receive it. Finally, we arrive at the fifth pillar, a ritual that is deeply ingrained in Japanese daily life, and one that perfectly encapsulates the holistic approach to health. It is the practice of the daily bath, or ofuro. In many Western cultures, bathing is a hurried, functional act of getting clean. In Japan, it is a cherished ritual for cleansing not only the body, but also the mind and spirit. The Japanese bath is a two-part process. First, one washes thoroughly outside the tub, scrubbing the body clean of all soap and dirt. Only then does one enter the tub itself, which is filled with clean, very hot water. The purpose of the tub is not to wash, but to soak, to relax, and to let go. This practice of deep thermotherapy has profound physiological benefits that are often underestimated. When you immerse your body in hot water, your blood vessels dilate, which improves circulation and lowers blood pressure. This increased blood flow helps to deliver oxygen and nutrients to your cells more efficiently and aids in the removal of metabolic waste. The heat also helps to relax tense muscles and calm the nervous system, shifting the body into a parasympathetic, or rest and digest, state. This is incredibly important for immune function, as a relaxed nervous system is an effective nervous system. A fascinating study conducted by Dr. Toshiki Yamazaki in Japan explored the link between bathing habits and health. The research found that regular hot baths were associated with better sleep quality, reduced stress, and even a lower risk of cardiovascular events. The heat induces a gentle, passive cardiovascular workout, and the subsequent cooling of the body as you get out of the tub signals to the brain that it is time to prepare for sleep. But the benefits go beyond the purely physical. The ofuro is a time to disconnect from the stresses of the day. It is a quiet, meditative space where one can be alone with one's thoughts. It is a ritual that marks a clear transition from the active, working part of the day to the restful, restorative part of the night. This psychological cleansing is just as important as the physical cleansing. I encourage my patients, especially those struggling with stress or insomnia, to adopt this ritual. I advise them to make it a sensory experience, perhaps by adding some Epsom salts or a few drops of a calming essential oil like lavender to the water, to dim the lights, and be present, without distractions. It is a powerful way to signal to your body and mind that the day is complete, and it is now safe to release all tension. This practice demonstrates a core Japanese belief that simple, daily rituals, performed with intention and consistency, are the most powerful form of preventive medicine. It is not about grand heroic efforts, but about the small, gentle acts of self-care that we weave into the fabric of our everyday lives. So, we have journeyed through the 5 pillars of Japanese resilience: Kinkatsu, nourishing your inner world with living foods; Hara Hachibu, the wisdom of eating with mindful moderation; Ikigai, the life-affirming power of purpose; Shinrin Yoku, the healing embrace of nature; and the daily oforo, the ritual of cleansing body and mind. As you can see, the reason for the remarkable health and longevity in Japan is not a single secret, but a beautiful, interconnected system. It is a lifestyle where food is medicine, purpose is a shield against stress, nature is a healer, and daily rituals are acts of profound self-respect. It is a culture that understands that health is not something you chase, but something you cultivate day by day with small, conscious choices. Remember, the goal is not to be perfect. It is to be consistent. Choose just one of these pillars to focus on this week. Perhaps it is starting your day with a bowl of miso soup, or taking a quiet walk in a park, or simply pausing to ask yourself if you are truly hungry. These small steps, when repeated, create powerful ripples that will transform your health over time. Your body holds an incredible, innate wisdom and a profound capacity to heal. These principles do not give you anything new. They simply help you to remember what your body already knows. I am deeply grateful for the time we have shared today. If you have found this information valuable, I would be honored if you would like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I would truly love to hear from you. Which of these 5 pillars resonates with you the most? Please, share your thoughts in the comments below. Your journey inspires us all. Thank you for listening. Be well, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.